Let me have a quick drink, and I'll go into story time. This one is called Getting Slendr. True story, my boyfriend went crazy, frowny face. I had never seen the Blair Witch Project, and he hadn't either. At first it seemed more like something you see out of the corner of your eye at night. Then his sightings progressed and intensified. We both should have taken the sightings more seriously. Frowny face. He was over at my apartment one afternoon, and we were going to go out to eat, and we were thinking of restaurants we could go to. After a while, we just started making conversation about our day and frivolous things that were happening in our lives. When he told me
Frivolous.
that yesterday, while he was fixing his truck, he thought he saw a man in a suit across the street from his house watching him. He said it almost sarcastically, as if it were really not worth mentioning, but said I just smiled with him. A week later, he called the police because there was a man in his house. When the police came to his house, they shrugged him off when they saw that he was drinking. Yeah, you know how police will just completely ignore calls like that if they think you've been drinking?
Well, if he has a record of it, then I don't know.
There were Henneken bottles all over the kitchen. It seemed a little strange to me, just the way the whole scene was fixed so perfectly to make it look like he was drinking. Slender Man artificially raised his blood alcohol level. That's what I think we're getting at here. At that time, I assumed he was. He begged the police and me that he wasn't drinking and that there was a man in his house. The police left and fined him for an inappropriate 911 call. He was scared now. I was scared for him. He would have the author's permission to be scared. A month later, I hadn't seen him for a while. I was worried about him. I went to pay him a visit. He was very gentle and I loved him, but just in case he was insane, I brought my brother with me. I know it seems a little awkward, but I seriously didn't want to take any chances. I rang the doorbell. No one was there. I left with my brother. We were almost home when a couple of police cars passed us with their sirens on. They were headed for my boyfriend's house. My brother drove back to his house just to see if he was all right, in case he called 911 again. He did. He told the police that a man had been stalking him and writing him notes through instant messaging. The police checked his inbox and outbox, and there was about 12 messages that were sent to him, but they were all blank. The only thing that made sense was the word peanut butter. He was in tears. The police tried to check the return email, and it seemed to be a hacked spam letter. When they traced it back to the original spam sender, they found Papa John's Pizza.
Oh, fuck.
What?
6 months later, the police came to his house again. Only this time, it was on account of his neighbor. Apparently he had visited the neighbor's house and asked for a peanut butter sandwich, unaware of his allergy. They made it for him. They said they were afraid if they didn't do what he said, he would destroy their house. His autopsy stated killed by mental illness, poison. But I know it was the man. Death by peanut butter sandwich. I can't say I've come across that in a creepypasta before.
And yet, the autopsy report said it wasn't from that, even though it clearly was.